ready to dive into some of the really cool ways that AI and open data are being used to transform cities?
Let's do it.
We've got this awesome article here previewing the 2025 Global Open Data and AI Summit in London.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
And it's really exciting to see how these technologies are already making cities more efficient, sustainable, and, well, just better places to live, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's like we're finally starting to see the real-world applications of these things we've been talking about for years.
Exactly, and that's what I love about this deep dive. It's not just futuristic theory. It's happening now.
Right.
Like, let's start with something that I think pretty much everyone listening can relate to: traffic.
Ugh, don't even get me started.
I know, right? It's the worst.
Yeah.
But imagine if AI could actually help us solve this problem.
Well, actually, it already is.
Really?
Yeah, there are cities using AI to optimize traffic flow in real time, using sensors, cameras, all that data we're constantly generating.
So it's like having a super smart traffic controller that can adapt to changing conditions on the fly.
Exactly. They're using AI to make traffic lights smarter, too. Not just timed, but dynamically adjusting to the actual flow of traffic.
Wow, so no more sitting at a red light when there's no one coming the other way.
Hopefully not. And it's not just about cars either.
Yeah.
AI is being used to make public transportation more efficient, too.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, think about it. Buses and trains generate a ton of data about their location, speed, maintenance history, you name it.
Right.
And AI can analyze all that data to predict things, like when a bus might break down or which routes are most in demand at certain times.
So we're talking about fewer delays, smoother commutes, maybe even a boost in ridership because public transport becomes more reliable.
Exactly. And some cities are even using AI to personalize route recommendations for people.
Wait, really? So it's like having a custom-made navigation system for your city?
Yeah, pretty much. It takes into account traffic, weather, even your personal preferences, like if you prefer to walk or bike for part of your journey.
Okay, that is seriously cool. It's like AI is finally making good on all those promises, a smarter, more efficient future.
And we're just scratching the surface.
I can't wait to see what else they come up with. Now let's talk about another big issue that cities face: energy consumption.
Yeah, that's a big one. Cities use a massive amount of energy.
I mean, just think about all the lights, the buildings, the transportation systems. It's mind-boggling.
But AI is actually being used to make cities much more energy efficient.
Oh, how so?
Well, for example, they're using AI to create what are called smart buildings.
Smart buildings. Okay, I've heard that term, so I'm not really sure what it means.
So basically, a smart building is one that uses AI to optimize its energy consumption.
So it's like the building is learning how to use energy more efficiently.
Exactly. AI can analyze data from all sorts of sensors throughout the building, like occupancy patterns, temperature readings, even weather forecasts.
Okay.
And it uses that data to control things like heating, cooling, lighting, ventilation, all in a way that minimizes waste.
So it's like having an invisible energy manager who's constantly monitoring and adjusting the building systems to be as efficient as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this can lead to huge cost savings for building owners, and of course, it's much better for the environment.
That's fantastic. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this approach is being applied to the entire city grid as well.
Oh, wow. So we're talking about a future where cities are powered by clean, renewable energy that's managed intelligently and efficiently.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've covered traffic and energy. Now I have to ask about something that's always kind of bugged me: waste management.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Cities produce an insane amount of trash, and recycling can be a bit of a mess, to say the least.
For sure. But guess what? AI is being used to revolutionize waste management, too.
Really? How so?
Well, one of the most promising applications is in sorting recyclables.
Oh, right.
Right.
Because that can be a really time-consuming and error-prone process for humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But AI-powered systems can analyze materials much more quickly and accurately than we can.
Wow, so it's like having a super-powered recycling guru.
Pretty much. These systems use cameras and sensors to identify different types of plastics, separate out contaminated items, and make sure that everything ends up in the right place.
That's amazing. It's like AI is taking all the guesswork out of recycling.
And this is all part of a bigger trend towards what's called the circular economy.
Right. I've heard that term, but I'm not totally sure what it means.
Basically, it's about moving away from the traditional linear model of take, make, dispose, and instead creating a closed-loop system where resources are constantly being reused.
Okay, so it's like closing the loop on the whole production and consumption cycle.
Exactly. And AI is playing a key role in making that happen by optimizing waste collection routes, accurately sorting recyclables, and even helping to track the life cycle of materials. AI is helping us minimize waste and maximize resource utilization.
That's incredible. It's like AI is the missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to creating a truly sustainable future.
It's definitely a game changer.
Okay, so we've covered traffic, energy waste. Now there's one more big issue I want to talk about: public safety.
Yeah, that's a crucial one for any city.
I mean, everyone wants to feel safe and secure in their community.
Absolutely. And AI is bringing some major advancements to public safety as well.
Oh, like what?
Well, for one thing, AI is being used to enhance surveillance systems.
Okay.
We're not just talking about recording footage anymore. AI algorithms can actually analyze that footage in real time to detect unusual activity.
So it's like having an extra set of eyes watching over the city, but these eyes are powered by AI and can actually understand what they're seeing.
Exactly. AI can identify patterns of behavior that might indicate a potential threat and alert authorities much faster than a human could.
Wow, that's impressive. It's like having a virtual guardian angel watching over the city.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. AI can be used to analyze crime data and actually predict where and when crimes are more likely to occur.
Wait, seriously, AI can predict crime. It sounds like something straight out of Minority Report.
I know, right? But it's becoming a reality. AI can identify patterns in crime data that humans might miss and use that information to predict future crime hotspots.
That's incredible. And I imagine that kind of predictive capability could be a game changer for law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It allows them to allocate resources more effectively, potentially even preventing crimes before they happen.
So it's not just about reacting to crime, it's about being proactive and preventing it in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a much more effective and sustainable approach to public safety in the long run.
This is amazing. I'm really starting to see how AI is transforming every aspect of city life.
And we're just getting started.
I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me neither. It's amazing, though, right?
Yeah.
It really feels like we're entering a new era of public safety.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, if AI can predict crime, maybe it can be applied to other aspects of city planning too.
Oh, totally. Urban planning is actually another area where AI is having a huge impact. Yeah, think about it. Cities are constantly growing and changing. And planners need to make decisions about things like housing, transportation, infrastructure, all while trying to keep the city sustainable and livable.
Right. It's a lot to juggle.
Exactly. And that's where AI comes in. It can analyze massive amounts of data about demographics, land mans, use traffic patterns, environmental factors, you name it.
Okay.
And use that data to help planners make better, more informed decisions.
So it's like having a virtual crystal ball that can show planners how different decisions might play out in the future.
Pretty much AI can model different scenarios, like what would happen to traffic flow if we built a new housing development in this location, or how would rising sea levels affect coastal areas.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like city planning on steroids.
It's definitely a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And it's helping cities become more resilient, efficient, and prepared for the future.
That's fantastic. But with all this talk about development and infrastructure, let's not forget about the importance of green spaces within cities.
Oh, absolutely. Green spaces are essential for the well-being of both people and the planet.
I mean, they provide so many benefits: clean air, stress reduction, biodiversity, the list goes on.
Exactly. And guess what? AI is playing a role here too.
Really? I'm sensing a theme here.
Haha. Yeah, AI is popping up everywhere in the urban landscape. But in this case, it's being used to help manage and maintain those green spaces.
How interesting.
How so?
Well, for example, AI-powered systems can monitor the health of trees and plants.
Okay.
They can analyze data from sensors, satellite imagery, and even citizen reports to detect things like disease pests or drought stress.
Wow, so it's like having a virtual park ranger who's constantly keeping an eye on things.
Exactly. And these systems can also optimize irrigation systems so that plants are getting the right amount of water at the right time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like AI is helping to make our cities greener and more sustainable.
And healthier, too. Don't forget about the health benefits of green spaces.
That's true. I feel like I can breathe easier just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So AI is really transforming every aspect of city life, from the way we get around to the way we manage our resources to the way we interact with our environment.
It's incredible, and it all seems to come back to data, right?
Absolutely. The success of these AI-powered solutions relies heavily on access to data, and that's where open data comes in.
Right. Open data is basically the idea of making data freely available to anyone who wants to use it.
Exactly. And by opening up their data, cities can foster innovation and create a more collaborative environment for solving urban challenges.
So it's like open sourcing the city itself.
Pretty much. The more data that's available, the more people can come up with creative and effective solutions.
That makes a lot of sense. And I imagine events like the Global Open Data and AI Summit are really important for promoting this kind of collaboration.
Oh, absolutely. These events bring together experts from all over the world to share their knowledge, showcase innovative solutions, and discuss the challenges and opportunities of building smarter cities.
It sounds like a must-attend event for anyone who's interested in the future of urban living.
Definitely. If you want to be on the cutting edge of this field, this is the place to be.
Now, I know we've been talking a lot about the positive impacts of AI in cities, but are there any potential downsides?
Well, like any powerful technology, AI has the potential to be misused or to have unintended consequences.
Right. I mean, there are always ethical considerations when it comes to technology.
Exactly. So it's crucial that we develop and deploy these technologies responsibly with a focus on fairness, transparency, and accountability.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that these technologies benefit all residents, not just a select few.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
We don't want to create a city that's only smart for some people.
Exactly. And we need to be mindful of potential biases that can be embedded in algorithms so we don't end up perpetuating existing inequalities.
Right, because AI is only as good as the data it's trained on.
Precisely. So we need to make sure that the data is representative and unbiased, and that the algorithms are designed in a way that promotes fairness and equity.
It's definitely a balancing act. We need to embrace the potential of AI to solve urban challenges while also being mindful of the risks and working to mitigate them.
I completely agree. It's an ongoing process, and it requires collaboration and dialogue among all stakeholders.
Okay, so we've talked about AI's impact on city planning, green spaces, public safety. Now I want to go back to the topic of transportation for a minute because I'm really intrigued by this idea of AI-powered public transportation systems.
Yeah, it's a really exciting area with a lot of potential.
Can you tell me more about how it's playing out in real cities?
Sure. One great example is the use of AI for predictive maintenance.
Predictive maintenance. What's that?
So basically, it's about using AI to predict when parts are likely to fail in buses, trains, or other vehicles.
Okay.
By analyzing data from sensors, AI can detect patterns that might indicate a problem before it actually occurs.
So it's like having a mechanic who can see into the future.
Pretty much.
Oh.
And this allows transit agencies to schedule maintenance proactively, reducing the risk of breakdowns and delays.
That's amazing. So no more getting stranded on a broken down train during rush hour.
Hopefully not. And it's not just about preventing breakdowns. AI can also be used to optimize bus and train schedules based on real-time demand.
Oh, interesting. So it's like having a dynamic schedule that adjusts to passenger needs.
Exactly. This means fewer crowded buses, shorter wait times, and a more pleasant commuting experience overall.
That sounds fantastic. It's like having a personalized transportation system that adapts to your needs.
And some cities are even experimenting with AI-powered systems that can personalize route recommendations for individual passengers.
Wow, really? So it's like having a virtual travel assistant that helps you get around the city in the most efficient and enjoyable way possible.
Exactly. It takes into account things like your preferred modes of transportation, your travel time, and even your environmental preferences.
Okay, that is seriously cool. It's like AI is finally making good on all those promises of a smarter, more efficient future.
And it's not just limited to public transportation. AI is also being used to optimize traffic flow for private vehicles.
Oh, really?
Well, there are systems that can adjust traffic signal timing in real time based on traffic volume, weather conditions, even special events.
So it's like having a super intelligent traffic cop who can direct traffic more efficiently than any human ever could.
Exactly. And these systems can also communicate with connected vehicles, providing drivers with real-time information on traffic conditions, alternative routes, potential hazards.
That's incredible. It sounds like AI is completely revolutionizing the way we get around our cities.
It's definitely making things more efficient and hopefully less stressful for everyone.
I can only hope. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about energy management, because we briefly touched on the concept of smart buildings earlier, but I'd love to dive a little deeper into that.
Sure. Smart buildings are a fascinating example of how AI could be used to optimize energy consumption.
I'm all ears.
So basically, by integrating AI into building management systems, we can control everything from heating and cooling to lighting and ventilation in a way that maximizes efficiency and minimizes waste.
So it's like having an invisible energy manager who's constantly monitoring and adjusting the building systems to be as efficient as possible.
Exactly. AI can analyze data from sensors throughout the building, including occupancy patterns, temperature readings, even weather forecasts, and make real-time adjustments that optimize energy usage.
So the building is essentially learning how to use energy more intelligently based on its environment and the needs of its occupants.
Precisely. And this can lead to significant cost savings for building owners and a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions for the city as a whole.
That's fantastic. It sounds like smart buildings are a win-win for everyone involved.
They definitely have a lot of potential.
But what about waste management? I know we discussed how AI is being used to sort recyclables, but are there other applications in this area?
Oh, absolutely. One promising area is the use of AI-powered smart waste bins.
Smart waste bins. What are those?
So these bins are equipped with sensors that monitor fill levels.
Okay.
And that data can be used to optimize collection routes so that garbage trucks are only dispatched when bins are actually full.
Oh, that makes sense. So no more overflowing trash cans or garbage trucks driving around half empty.
Exactly. It's a much more efficient and sustainable approach.
And are there other ways AI is being used in waste management?
Yeah, some cities are experimenting with AI-powered systems that can analyze the composition of waste.
Analyze the composition. What do you mean?
So basically, they can break down the waste stream into different categories like food waste, plastics, paper, and so on.
Okay.
And this information can provide valuable insights into consumption patterns and help identify opportunities for waste reduction.
So it's like having a waste detective on the case, helping us understand what we're throwing away and how we can make better choices.
Exactly. By understanding our waste streams, we can make more informed decisions about packaging, product design, and consumption habits, ultimately moving toward a more sustainable lifestyle.
I love how AI is empowering us to make a real difference in the way we manage our resources.
It's definitely a powerful tool for positive change.
Now let's turn our attention back to the critical issue of public safety. We've already discussed AI's role in surveillance and crime prediction, but I'm curious about how it's being used to improve emergency response times.
That's another important area where AI is making a big impact.
Okay, tell me more.
So AI-powered systems can analyze data from various sources like traffic cameras, 911 calls, social media, even weather reports,
Okay.
and use that data to identify emergencies and optimize the deployment of first responders.
So it's like having a virtual command center that can assess situations in real time and direct resources where they're needed most.
Exactly. AI can determine the fastest routes for ambulances and fire trucks, taking into account traffic conditions and other obstacles. It can also identify the type and severity of an emergency, ensuring that the appropriate personnel and equipment are dispatched.
That's incredible. It's like having a guardian angel watching over the city, ready to act swiftly and effectively in times of need.
It's definitely a game changer for emergency response.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the role of AI in creating more sustainable and resilient cities. We've discussed how AI can help us manage resources more efficiently, but I'm curious about how it's being used to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
That's a critical area where AI has a lot to offer.
Okay, tell me more.
So AI can analyze data on weather patterns, sea levels, infrastructure, vulnerability, all sorts of environmental factors.
Right.
And use that data to help cities identify areas at risk and develop strategies to mitigate potential damage.
So it's like a climate change crystal ball, helping us anticipate and prepare for future challenges.
Exactly. AI can model the potential impacts of extreme weather events like floods, heat waves, droughts, and allow cities to strengthen critical infrastructure and develop early warning systems.
That's incredibly important as we face the growing threat of climate change.
Absolutely. And AI can also help us reduce our carbon footprint. By optimizing transportation systems, energy consumption, waste management, AI can contribute to a more sustainable urban environment.
It's amazing how AI is being applied to address some of the most pressing challenges facing our cities.
It's a testament to the power of technology to drive positive change and create a better future for all.
This has been an incredibly insightful journey into the world of smart cities. We've seen how AI and open data are transforming the urban landscape, making our cities more efficient, sustainable, and livable. But before we wrap up, I'd love to get your perspective on what the future holds for smart cities.
Yeah, it really feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift in how cities function.
What are some of the biggest trends or breakthroughs you're anticipating in the coming years?
Well, one of the most exciting areas is the development of these truly integrated urban platforms.
Yeah,
You know-
integrated urban platforms.
Yeah, like imagine a system that connects every aspect of a city's infrastructure.
Okay.
Transportation, energy, waste management, public safety, all of it.
So it's like having a central nervous system for the entire city.
Exactly. And with AI powering these platforms, they could anticipate and respond to the city's needs in real time. Optimizing resource allocation, improving efficiency, and just making life better for everyone.
That's pretty mind-blowing. It sounds like the stuff of science fiction.
I know, right?
But it's becoming a reality.
So with all this tech, what about the role of us regular folks? How can citizens contribute to smarter cities?
Oh, citizen engagement is absolutely crucial.
Okay, good.
Like we're seeing more cities using open data platforms and mobile apps to gather information from residents.
Oh, that's interesting. Like what kind of information?
Everything. You know, reporting potholes, broken streetlights, giving feedback on development projects, even tracking pollution levels.
It's like giving citizens a voice in shaping their own city.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just providing feedback. Some cities are doing citizen science initiatives where residents can collect data for research projects.
Wow, that's cool. So it's like turning every citizen into a scientist.
In a way, yeah. It's all about empowering people and creating a more collaborative approach to urban development.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've been focusing on the Global Open Data and AI Summit.
But are there other places folks can learn more about this stuff?
Oh, tons. There are organizations like the Smart Cities Council, a global network of folks working on this.
Okay.
Publications like City Lab Smart Cities, Dive, tons of blogs and websites from experts.
So there's a whole world of information out there.
Absolutely. If you're interested in smart cities, you'll find plenty to keep you busy.
Before we wrap up, though, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier, the potential risks of AI.
Right. It's important to be aware of those.
What are some of the big concerns?
Well, one of the biggest is bias in algorithms. If the data used to train an AI is biased, the results will be too.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's not enough to just collect data. We need to make sure it's good data.
Exactly. And we need to think carefully about how these technologies are designed and used,
Yeah.
to make sure they're ethical and responsible.
So it's a multifaceted challenge.
For sure. It's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people, the policies, the values.
We need to have open and honest conversations about these things and work together to get it right. Well, this has been a truly fascinating look at the world of smart cities.
It has.
And it's clear that AI and open data have the potential to revolutionize urban living.
No doubt.
As we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
If you could use AI to improve one aspect of your city, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It really gets to the heart of what smart cities are all about, using tech to make life better.
It does.
So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to think about this.
So,
What would you change about your city? How could AI help?
the future of our cities is something we create together.
Exactly. So let's embrace innovation work together and build smarter, more sustainable, and equitable cities for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of smart cities. We hope you're leaving as inspired as we are.